Hello and welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting from the Shenandoah Esports Arena, and tonight we are ending our group stage here in the Overwatch Rumble, and then immediately heading into the finals of the Overwatch Rumble. So we have one more matchup here tonight. That's going to be the Lightning taking on the Mammoths, and it is going to be a heater game, in my opinion. Going to be the last of our best of threes, heading into best of five for the finals, which will be our second match. And whoever wins the last match of the group stage will be heading into that finals, taking on the Landslides, who have already secured their position 3-0 so far here in the Rumble. I, of course, am Josh Cunningham, and joining me tonight is the magnificent Alexander T. Kresek. And Alex, how do you feel about this evening?
Thank you, Josh. I'm feeling fantastic about this evening. We've been watching these teams through the Rumble, and now it all culminates into this evening where we get to see what these teams are made of. Of course, we've been watching the Landslides. We saw them play twice last week, and they were phenomenal. Undefeated, practically uncontested. We did see them lose a game against the Landslides, but other than that, they have been practically untouchable. On the other side of things, of course, the Landslides and the Mammoths both 1-1 respectively. So it's really this neck and neck battle to see who will distinguish themselves enough tonight in order to pull ahead and take on the Landslides, get that rematch kind of map happening, get that match happening, and I am just so excited for tonight.
Yeah, I am really excited to see who's going to make it all the way to take on the Landslides. Will it be the Lightning? Will it be the Mammoths, who so far on stream we have seen them have not the best performance? Will they have a comeback victory, though, in the end? Or will the Lightning take the Landslides on once again? And we've already seen that match on stream before. The Landslides looking quite good going into it, but now the Lightning have had one more time with the game, and two, time to adapt and watch the Landslides play these other matches. So I'm really excited to head into that finals after we start our first series here, which is once again the Mammoths taking on the Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic kind of duo happening here. Of course, map number one, a map that we are very familiar with. We've seen a lot. It, of course, is push on Colosseo. Of course, teams get the option to either choose push or control first. A lot of these teams have opted to go for push, and we've seen a lot of Colosseo, especially later in the season. We saw a lot of Colosseo. We've seen a little bit more kind of switch up at this point, but Colosseo always a fan favorite apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorites to watch. It's just such a unique map, I think, in Overwatch. It's so close quarters, and really only having that one high ground to really contest is so unique in comparison to a lot of other maps that we see from Overwatch 1. And now here in Overwatch 2, it's going to be a really, really awesome push map. But yeah, no new Queen Street, unfortunately, for the start of the series. Colosseo going to be a really, really good start, I think, though. We've seen it time and time again here in the Rumble. Both teams look very comfortable on this map. It's the standard brawl map, I think, now.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for the push game mode. We've seen Kings Row. I think Colosseo is going to potentially join that kind of standard map that, like, the competitive play, the competitive side of things kind of is pulled to, you know?
Yeah, it almost feels like right that it all culminates into a Colosseo start here as we end out this group stage, honestly.
Yeah, 100%, and I cannot wait to get started. Here we go, heading on to the map, Colosseo. And man, this map is so tight, like it's so narrow. The corridors, you know, just are so good for Reinhardt, for Junker Queen, and all the Brawl characters. You know, D.Va, we're not going to be able to see that much on this map because they just don't have the high ground, so they don't need to fly around as much. DM not going to be as useful, but Reinhardt going to, I think, be the most dominant pick. But we could see the Lightning come out on Sigma. We have seen Sigma in the past, though they normally do switch off after just not being able to keep the other team back enough. Brawl's entire composition is geared towards just pushing onto your lines, and obviously a Sigma is completely meant to just stand in one spot and just hold it down. So, kind of opposite here, but I'm really excited to see how the Lightning do with that Sigma on the map.
Yeah, and starting off with a quick start, Daydream on that Lucio, but never mind whatever I was going to say. BBQ going to take out Dark real quick with that Junkrat, and that just is attributed to the fact that this map is so tight. Junkrat can get so much damage with the bombs, with the landmines, whatever he throws out. It's just going to deal so much damage, and WoW Classic going to pick up Daydream as well, and the picks are just falling on the side of Mammoths. Nothing they can do except walk back and wait for the rest of their team to respawn.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of shield break from the Junkrat alone, it's just going to make it really hard for Reinhardt to push forward without that Lucio speed after it's gone from the fight. It's just really hard to make that push again. Now we see the Lightning moving towards the only high ground that the Mammoths will have to control here up on the bridge. Mammoth's getting positioned to jump back down onto the objective here any moment now. Slowly building ultimates up. BBQ almost ready with the tire, and these junk tires are really something to see. But man, Soup, something to see with that shot now. But Music Woman able to find both the supports from the Mammoths, taking them down and out of the fight. Soup, though, with the response on the right click, holding down the objective still. Tire on Barbecue, and now the Lightning do push through the fight.
Yeah, what a fantastic win on the side of Lightning. That DPS line, both on the side of BBQ and Music Woman, just doing so much, too much damage. The Mammoths trying their best. We are going to see BBQ using the tire to take down Daydream. That is the support dead again for the Mammoths. And C-Squared looking like they may join very quickly. 95, but is going to get taken out immediately. Dark is going to find BBQ, though, in that interaction.
Yeah, C-Squared trying to pull the bot away behind the other team. Unfortunately, going to get caught out when Sunky realized what was going on. And now the rest of the Lightning are back at the point, ready for the next team fight as they wrap around the corner at the first checkpoint, getting it. Now 7 minutes still on the clock. Oh, almost 8 minutes. And man, this is moving quite quickly. The Lightning coming in with the flash. Here's the ultimate going out onto the backline. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find the picks. Will get the eye field, and there comes the DPS swinging in for the Lightning, able to find both Moist and Dark. Daydream taking out Barbecue. Genji mains find C-Squared. And now it's going to be back down to these few players left around on the payload. Sunky taking out Soup, putting things further in the favor of the Lightning, who continue with the progress. Sigma being such a great pick here on the map. We've only really seen Ryan and Junker Queen, but the Lightning making excellent use of this tank.
You know, we have seen the Sigma on other maps, and Sunky has done a fantastic job, but I think you're right. Something that we didn't expect is how well Sunky would be playing on this Sigma. So much damage output. We are going to see Dark using the Pulse Bomb in order to take out Genji mains, but it might not matter with Barbecue picking up 2. Moist going to pick up 2 more as well. BBQ picking up a 3rd. That may be it. Maybe all she wrote, as the Lightnings are just pushing closer and closer to the end here.
Yeah, but this spawn is super close for the Mammoths as well, and they are able to just take so much space right back, especially now that Barbecue has been taken out of the fight. We're going to see them move the bot slowly back towards that neutral zone, see how far they get it, or if the Lightning come back and retake control of the bot before Mammoths take very much space. They do have beat, though, for Daydreams. Here comes the Blade coming in to take out Dark from Music Woman, trying to find the Sojourn, going to find Soup, and not going to be able to take out the Lucio, but the double kill going to open things back up for the Lightning, who are exploding back onto the lines of the Mammoths.
Daydream does have beat available, but is going to get caught in a trap. Nothing they can do there. Don't want to waste beat just on one person. BBQ going to get credited for that kill. And again, Lightning back in the driver's seat. They may have lost the momentum for a moment, but they get it back almost instantaneously. We are going to see a switch from Soup off of that Sojourn onto the Ashe, maybe hoping for a little bit of that dynamite damage, maybe for a little bit more of a sniper position. BBQ going to get a kill and then throws out the tire. Going to find 2 more with the tire as well.
Ooh. Yeah, a Music Woman there to find Soup, in the end. Barbecue taking out C-Squared. That's a team kill for the Lightning. They could take the map here, but Ball coming out for the side of Mammoth, as well as just so many speedy characters. Lucio back on the point now as well, going to be taken out by Sunky. It's all up to this Ball. DPS coming in with Soup on the Soldier. A lot of damage going on to the lines of the Lightning, but it's being healed up. Soup able to find WoW Classic. That's one support gone, but I don't know how the Mammoths are going to be able to sustain. They just have to keep coming back from point, somehow winning out the stagger. There goes Music Woman falling to Dark, and Daydream's back on the point, getting fallen by BBQ. Sunky able to finally take out Dark, but the members of the Mammoths continue to just pour back onto the point.
Yeah, but it might not be enough. We are going to see the switch onto the Sigma, just trying to live a little bit longer. It will work, but the point is just right there. The Mammoths just need to keep pouring onto the point to stop it, but eventually something will have to give here.
And I think it's going to happen with this Junk Tire coming in, able to find 2, as well as the shots onto Moist. That's going to do it with the team kill going over to the Lightning to end things finally after an insane stagger from the Mammoths, almost holding out for a minute-ish.
Yeah, I mean, for a very long time, and even though it felt like that moment lasted forever, this was definitely one of the faster Colosseo games that we've seen in the past. Typically, it goes to time. We don't really see Colosseo finish that often, especially not that quickly. And of course, credited for the kill. BBQ on that Junkrat doing so much for his team, just so much damage. Great ult placements, great ult uses, as well as we saw the traps coming into play several times. So much that you can do with the Junkrat, a character that I didn't think that we would be seeing a lot of, but really, especially in this division, we've seen so much Junkrat.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat has been a staple of every single team comp, especially on Colosseo with such narrow choke points that they're just able to get so much damage down with the grenade splash damage. Just able to really lock down areas and really just void Reinhardt's shield. They were not able to take any space with Moist on that character. Unfortunately for the Mammoths, the Lightning were just able to continue to take space on them, and Reinhardt just not able to kind of hold a position like Sigma can, where he can kind of play in front of the objective and really just lock down that bridge or the staircase or whatever. And if he's able to succeed, then that payload will just continue to move forward behind him, or the robot in this case will continue to just move forward behind him, and that's what we saw a lot of. Moist not able to turn things around. But man, that was a great way to start things off. What a great way to start things off. The Mammoths, unfortunately, going to be losing map number 1 in the series, but they will have a chance to come back here as we head into map number 2. And it's going to be Hybrid Midtown.
Yep. So, of course, in the beginning, they get the option to choose either push or control. The second map is always going to be a hybrid, and then the third one, of course, is going to be escort. So we're going to see Midtown again. This is a map that we've seen a lot for the Rumble. We have seen Midtown over and over again, which I love. Josh, if you are the Mammoths, how do you get back into this game? I mean, the Lightning really put in the work for that control map. If you're the Mammoths, how do you stay in this mindset? How do you stay in this game and bring back to a 1-1 series here?
I really think it comes down to making great choices team composition-wise. We saw Sunky with the surprise pick on the Sigma, and I do not think the Mammoths were really prepared for the amount of shield break from the Junkrat as well. So that combination was just a lot of damage coming out onto the lines of the Mammoths, who continue to just have to walk into it based on the Brawl comp, switching things up like some characters over a little bit sooner, maybe hopping off that Reinhardt, trying someone else out, is going to be much more beneficial, especially when you run across that new pick that you haven't seen before and they are just rolling into you, you know, maybe mirroring that Sigma way sooner on to kind of have the same potential of locking down an area.
Yeah, and of course, as you're talking, we're taking a look at these team compositions, at least for right now, because Moist hasn't left the spawning area, but it does look like Moist maybe was thinking the same thing that you were and has switched off that Reinhardt to the Sigma. And oh my gosh, BBQ with a very quick kill onto Daydream. Who
More of an assassination.
Yeah, cannot catch a break. Actually, BBQ is going to walk away with another kill on the way out, taking out Dark before Soup eventually takes him down. Music Woman on this sniper position, going to find one and going to get a little bit of a body shot. Not much happening there. Soup going to try to answer in kind, but not much doing. Ooh, I like this Honest Skin.
Yeah, now that the Mammoths are regrouping here on the high ground, they're ready to push into the train, and they are actually just dropping underneath, deciding Sunky's a little bit dangerous right now, looking for some other angles. That high ground just not going to be contested just yet, looking over onto that left side, potentially going for the flank as Moist leads the charge on the left side.
Ooh, I really like this option for this flank, trying to get around this position that Lightning have really set themselves up. Music Woman just out in the open on the Widowmaker, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, and Widowmaker going to be a big pick on this map. We've seen previously in both the Summer Rumble, Invitational Rumble, and this Rumble how useful these one-shotting characters are with both Ashe and Widowmaker. Well, if you're able to find these headshots, especially on these just long-angle maps, you're going to be so dominant. We see Daydream there able to take out WoW Classic with it as well. Music Woman countering with Soup. And, yeah, I mean, just going to be back and forth here until one of these teams is able to get a big pick, and that could be it as Daydream takes out Barbecue. Music Woman falls to Dark, and now we're seeing Daydream able to find the second support, and the Lightning slowly getting pushed off of this point. There goes Sunky falling to Daydream as well.
Yeah, and with that, we see Daydream, a character, a player specifically, that has really been struggling. It seems like she keeps getting picked out early, especially at the start of this map. We saw her get picked out immediately by BBQ, but when you let her live, when you let her get some space, she hits those shots, she gets those headshots, is able to put out the orbs, and that is just so beneficial for your team as we see the Mammoths just capitalizing on that single pick that she got, able to just fully collapse onto the Lightnings.
Yeah, and both teams coming up onto Ultimates now as we get ready for the next team fight past that first objective now. Barbecue ready with the tire in the background, going to be mining the entire team, propping Transcendence from the side of the Mammoths, but the Mammoths were able to find 3 in the front. Now WoW Classic trying to turn things around by taking out Dark, but man, the Mammoths are going to just be able to take up so much space now. Barbecue with the tire could potentially turn things around, but Daydream there to stop it with the shots.
Daydream is honestly popping off right now. Nothing can stop them at all. Soup trying to track down with the Sojourn. Not going to get the kill. The Sigma wall is going to be there. Music Woman, while we said that these one-hit kill snipers can be so beneficial for these maps, the kind of downside of them is if they're not doing anything, they can really be a detriment to your team, especially in Overwatch 2 where you only have that 5-man roster. You're down another character that just isn't doing anything. Soup popping that overdrive, getting 1 kill. Moist going to pick up 2 more here.
Yeah, speaking of being down characters, the Lightning down to 2 players left to contest this point, but it's not going to be enough as the Mammoths are able to capture the second checkpoint, moving towards that third one with 4 minutes on the clock. Dark able to stagger Sunky a little bit, and now the Lightning coming back. They do have Transcendence, they do have Junk Tire, and they do have Nano, so there's definitely a winning chance to block this payload here for the Lightning, but the Mammoths have a Genji blade of their own with Nano, which is going to be a very dangerous duo.
Absolutely, and I don't know what has changed, but the Mammoths are just pushing forward, holding forward, making so much more space, getting so many more picks, taking advantage of positioning errors much more than they were the last game. We're going to see ultimates galore being popped left and right. We're going to see a Transcendence. We see a Blade. We see the tire as well. Everything being popped practically here.
Yeah, not going to get any value from Dark on that Blade. Barbecue able to take out 2 players. One with that tire able to take out Daydream as well. And the Lightning starting to get the push to turn things around. 3 minutes left on the clock. Will they be able to hold it, or are the Mammoths just going to come through on the next team fight with that Sigma lift, with that Transcendence, and just try to wipe through the Lightning, only have Nano to their name?
Very unfortunate. We see poor WoW Classic not going to be able to get up on the high ground from the elevator, just barely missing their stop. We see Soup trying to deal some damage onto this Cassidy. I like the switch from Music Woman's Widow onto the Cassidy. Will allow their team a little bit more utility as well as damage and the ability to take these closer fights. BBQ going to find Dark. Sunky going to find Daydream. This is what Lightning needs to stay in this game.
Yeah, taking another minute potentially off the clock with this, especially if they're able to get a solid stagger on any of these Mammoths who are going to be coming back to the point now with Lift and Transcendence up, this time for the fight. Moist not able to build it quite before that last one. Sunky ready with the Nano to back them up from Genji mains as well. Could see the lifts traded here as these teams clash once again.
It is very possible. Daydream also has Transcendence, so that's something you got to think about. And here we go. Lift as well as Nano being popped for both sides. We're going to see the lift happening. Transcendence also popped as well. Practically every ultimate just being used in accordance with each other. WoW's going to find a kill, and Soup going to find a kill onto Genji mains, and looking for more. Look at this damage from Sojourn.
Ooh, WoW Classic almost able to get away, but not quite, as Soup was there. Sunky with the trade now, but Moist still doing a lot of damage on this angle. Just needs to get one more puck onto that Cassidy to shut them down. Now getting full healed in the back. It's going to be the Mammoths having to push off of the point.
Yeah, if BBQ is still alive for the Lightning, you gotta do something about them, because this Junkrat just does so much damage, especially in this area of the train station. There is just nothing you can do. The pellets, the grenades are just going to hit and deal so much damage.
Yeah, it's the same thing for Sigma, but we are going to see Moist switch over to the Reinhardt once again. Probably a comfort pick coming out here. We saw them not want to switch off of it on Colossio.
Yep.
Now that things are coming down to the last minute here, and we are in a bit of a closer quarter. Ooh, Barbecue with the mine on the C-squared. That is not good for the Mammoths, who have a very little time and fewer seconds as each one counts down to take back this point. 50 seconds left on the clock now. Ultimates ready and being stacked for both teams. Dark might actually have that blade ready in time. I don't think we're going to be able to see it in Earth Shatter unless the supports do an insane job of keeping Moist alive as he dives into that front line. Genji main's going to be able to take out Dark to open things up. Music Woman ready with the High Noon. Looking at the Ana, but Barbecue is going to be able to take out Daydream. Music Woman shutting down C-squared and Soup. Genji mains finding Moist, and only 20 seconds left. I don't know how the Mammoths are going to be able to come back in this.
Yeah, and they don't really have any ultimates to work with. Music Woman, oh my gosh, that is the nail in the coffin. Barbecue going to get 2 kills with the tire. I don't think there's anything that the Mammoths can do right now. They're just about out of time. A second remaining. Can anyone touch the Tracer? I thought we saw it, but maybe not.
Oh, the Tracer was on, but apparently walked a meter off of the payload at the wrong second, letting the overtime not tick on, which is just so unfortunate for the side of the Mammoths. But they are not done yet. They are now going to be moving over to the defensive side, and we'll see if they can full stop the Lightning here and turn this series around now. Or will the Lightning be moving on to the finals?
I mean, practically at this point, the Lightning, to their credit, did a great job on the defense here. They basically need to full complete this map if they want to get a win. It's a little bit less, but the Mammoths did such a good job of pushing this point so far that the Lightnings just have their work cut out for them here. And we've seen a lot of teams struggle with this first point. As we do on a lot of these hybrid maps, these first points can really make or break the map to get, like, all in all, just because it can be so easy to hunker down and bunker up this first point.
Yeah, and immediately following this first point, once you get through the choke, you have to deal with that insane far high ground on top of the bridge while trying to move the payload underneath of it, similar to Watch Point, but there's just so much more horizontal difference that Gibraltar doesn't have. Watch Point Gibraltar, the map from Overwatch 1, I mean, where the high ground's just much taller but a lot closer to you. So, you know, it's a different kind of a take that you have to do. There's a lot more sustain needed to push through this map, I feel. And we're going to see if the Lightning are able to have that sustain, or will the Mammoths full stop them here as they Ooh, Soup shooting Music Woman down out of the sky. Going to be looking for a second frag potentially as these players move continually through the train. Barbecue going to be jumping up onto the roof of it, trying to get some damage down onto point, build up some ultimate charge. And we're going to see Sunky now taking space in the train. Music Woman back with the shots onto Daydream from the sky. And now going to be looking to find their next victim as the Lightning continue to move towards the point now that Zenyatta is gone. But Soup going to be taking Music Woman out once again. That hit scan going to be so deadly.
Yeah, the Widowmaker, especially Soup, who has been doing such a great job on the Sojourn all night, switching over to the Widowmaker and just hitting these shots.
Ooh.
Yeah, again, like we said, hitting these shots, making it so difficult. This is really what Music Woman wanted to be doing on the defense, and now Soup is like, hey, I got you. Let me show you how it's done. Of course, we see Music Woman switching off of the Pharah on to that Sojourn. Probably a better choice here, honestly, just because of how insane Soup is going right now.
Ooh, yeah, speaking of how insane, they just won the 1v1 in the staircase against BBQ on the Widowmaker. So much damage coming out from Soup right now. The Junkrat not even able to contest. Music Woman finally getting the trade onto Daydream, who's just been sniped. Oh, actually, it was Soup who's been sniping them out of the sky. Never mind. Daydream doing a great
has
job
also been
getting the damage onto them still. Soup now able to take out WoW Classic, and Soup is the player of this game so far. I mean, just absolutely getting every frag on the field. I mean, the Lightning going to be struggling so hard to deal with this DPS, who's just moving around on the point with the supports, just keeping them alive. And man, the entire focus around Soup as the defensive player here from the Mammoths is so obvious, but oh my gosh, it is working.
I mean, yeah, you know, if your Widowmaker is popping off like they are, what can you do but just sit there and make sure that they have a good angle, plenty of open areas, and plenty of heals to just keep them alive? And oh my gosh, what a shot.
Another shot going on to the DPS from the Lightning, who's just been struggling to build ult charge on any one character. C-squared ready with that Nano, Moist ready with the lift for the Mammoths. This is going to be a hard push for the Lightning, who continue to have to character swap. BBQ going to be coming up on that tire soon, but still only at 60%, 79%, or 80% to that Transcendence, and that could be what the Lightning need to really turn things around here. The Mammoths stacking up once again as the Lightning move towards that left flank, similar to the Mammoths' successful take. Last time able to take out Soup was WoW Classic.
Yeah, that might be what the Lightnings need, but oh my gosh, Moist with the flank from behind. We're going to see Sunky getting slept out as well. Moist just trying to stay in it, trying to do something. The healing is just coming out.
Yeah, the Nano onto Moist, keeping him alive on the point, completely shutting down the push from the Lightning, who was able to find 3 to start things off. It's the tank from the Mammoths. And man, what an insane hold from the Mammoths so far, who honestly needed a performance like this to get back into the series, and this is what we love to see.
Yeah, now the Lightning have 10 seconds to do anything to get onto this point. They're going to have one last push, but this game has looked completely in favor of the Mammoths. Music Woman trying to get a shot, but BBQ's going to finish it off. That is the opening that they need. We're going to see the Blade from Dark. Moist already finds 2, and the Transcendence is popped. That might be it here.
I don't see how the Mammoths lose this, especially now that Sunky gets taken down. WoW Classic finding 2, but not able to get on the point. Zen, knowing it was all up to them, going as hard as they could, but unfortunately not having the speed on the character to touch the point. But man, Moist with the play of the game. I don't know how it was not Soup hitting all those headshots, but I don't want to detract from this. Oh, there's the big lift flank into the room, of course, just hitting all of these little rocks. There's the big rock, and now going to be looking through, just waiting for the rest of the team to walk in their LOS. Moist doing a great job as the tank there, just deciding the train was unimportant, but it was okay because the Lightning did too. Yep. And they really just need to defend Soup, and that was a great strategy. You know, they were like, wait, Soup's hitting all the shots. Do not let Soup die.
Yeah, keep
plan.
Soup alive.
Perfect
and
plan.
They did until the very end, but at that point it was too little too late for the Lightning. They had to adjust their whole strategy to just full send, kill Soup, or else we're done. But even when they did that, even when they rushed onto the point, they rushed forward to kill Soup. Once Soup was finally taken care of, there were so many other players on the side of the Mammoths that were just there to clean up, like we saw Moist with that flank in the back, and there's not much you can do against that lift, and especially those pellets. When you're in that tiny room, wherever Sigma throws them, they're basically going to hit you.
Yeah, they absolutely will. But first, let me hit you with this quick social plug. We have a quick message from our friends over at Esports Tower. Make sure to check them out at Esports Tower on both Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. That's 3. That's not a both.
Yeah.
And then also you can check us out at Shenandoah Esports, at ShenU Esports on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And, of course, here on Twitch.tv or YouTube.com at Shenandoah Esports. And make sure to also check out esportstower.com if you are absolutely loving the Rumble so far and want to potentially get involved yourself. Definitely check out esportstower.com. They have a 2-week trial. Get yourself some coaching and make sure to check them out. But now let's head back here into this series, which has been heating up as we are now 1-1 in the best of 3. The Mammoths, a dominant hold on Midtown, not even letting the first point go after getting a really, really unfortunate game on Colosseo. So both of these teams have just had a steamroll map as we head into the equalizer, the decider, Dorado.
Yeah, it's going to be that escort map, that final map pick, and I feel like we've almost exclusively seen Dorado on escort. It feels like the map that all of these teams want to play, and it might just be a little bit of nostalgia from Overwatch 1 where they want to play Dorado. It's a fun map. We get to see Monkey a bit more. A tank.
Monkey.
That tank that we get to see Winston a lot more. We have seen a lot of Sigmas, a lot of Rhines. This is the map that you can actually pull out a character like Winston and be very successful with it. There's also a lot of high ground, especially in that beginning for that first choke point for the defending side. So we get to see also a lot of snipers as well. And for all those players like Barbecue who love to play the Junkrat, they have that high ground as well.
Speaking of the high ground, Dark able to use it to get the Genji Reflect to take down Music Woman at the very start of the game, stopping any Widow pick from the attacker's side. Soup back on the Widowmaker once again for the defense side of the Mammoths, and the Lightning move through Junkrat on the high ground. The rest of the players on the low ground as Music Woman finds the headshot onto Dark. Going to be looking for a second one. Going to get shielded out by the Sigma. And now waiting for the payload to just move underneath the archway. Honestly, the Mammoth's not putting up that big of a fight. Both DPS getting taken down. They're not able to find the damage to really hold as the Lightning continue to just press forward here towards the first checkpoint.
Oh my gosh. Wow, what a fantastic shield on the side of Moist, but it doesn't matter. Barbecue just putting out so much damage. Even as soon as Dark comes back in the fight, they're taken away. Moist, though, going to pick up Barbecue, and Soup with the headshots. Daydream not far behind, getting a headshot of their own as well. Music Woman and Soup in the battle. Soup's going to win out.
Ooh, Soup able to find the headshot, doing just a little bit more damage, but is that 9 damage that was needed to stay alive? And man, we're going to see the Mammoths somehow get back onto this point. They were able to regroup in time and recontest the payload. Now the Lightning going to have to explode. Not as many high grounds to really just open things up, get a nice clean Widow pick with. So we're probably going to see a switch come on here in a few minutes from the Lightning unless Music Woman pops off here.
Yeah, Music Woman has been doing a great job for their team, but the Widowmaker has been a little slower than Soup's Widowmaker, of course, because Soup has just been popping off. WoW Classic going to start things off by a headshot onto C squared, but now trapped in the room with Sunky, or with Moist rather, as Sunky is on the checkpoint here.
Dark going to be finding WoW Classic, which is great for the Mammoths on the defense, taking out that support very early. Sunky able to get the trade, but Soup finding Music Woman immediately, now looking for the shots onto the Ana, not going to give them the LOS. Barbecue trying to force them off before getting stunned out, and then immediately collapsed on by Soup, and Soup just doing a great job holding the dominant high ground, punishing the entire side of the Lightnings from up there. And man, there is just nothing they can do to move this player.
They have got to do something about Soup right now, because anytime it looks like the Lightning have an advantage, anytime it looks like they may be winning that fight, Soup is there on the high ground getting pick after pick after pick. I think we saw 3 or 4 kills in quick succession, with Soup just getting headshots to finish all of them.
And Music Woman going to want to turn on a similar performance as soon as they're able to get that headshot onto Soup. This could open things up for the Lightning to recontest and take this first checkpoint. Less than a minute on the clock. We're going to see Barbecue whip out the tire, looking for the pick onto Soup. Not going to even need it, though. Genji Mains gets the snipe, and Barbecue eventually going to find C-Squared after Mario Karting all the way around that first objective, and the Lightning will be able to claim it after a very tough fight. 30 seconds left on the clock, now bumped up to 3 minutes. Transcendence ready for the Lightning.
Yeah, you know, with Barbecue and oh my gosh, we're going to see Soup win out on that 1v1 again, but what we saw there, Barbecue popping the tire, and just everyone else had already fallen. The rest of the Mammoth taken down, so not much that Barbecue could really get out of the tire, but sometimes the threat of the tire alone makes people act and move in ways that they normally wouldn't have, and that might have contributed to the fact that the Lightnings were able to catch people rotating out in the wrong ways. Dark getting a little schmicks there.
Yeah.
Didn't realize where Barbecue was going.
Barbecue with the ankle snap onto the Genji. Now Genji going to be looking to make something happen. Soup there with the picks, though, once again onto Music Woman. And Soup is just unstoppable when they are finding these high grounds. Just, oh my gosh,
Soup is insane.
Keeps happening. It's just going to keep happening. Eventually we will stop talking about it. It'll just become commonplace.
It's just second nature for Soup at this point. We're just going to get desensitized to the Widow headshots.
And the Sigma 1v1 breaking out on point. Who's going to win it? Moist currently not going to have the supports directly in LOS now, but that Nano is ready for the recontest, as well as Daydream ready for the Transcendence. WoW Classic going to be holding the only ultimate for the side of the Lightning as the rest of the team tries to charge up that last 30 or so % on theirs. Dark ready with the Genji blade with the blade. Once Moist uses that lift, Moist going to be using the lift on the point. Genji not going to be there to capitalize for the ultimate combo for the Mammoths, but it's not going to be needed. Barbecue able to take out C-Squared there, and WoW Classic? Just walking along the side of the building?
Yeah, just WoW Classic literally floating with Genji, but Barbecue and Music Woman going to pick up a kill as well as Sunky. This is the opportunity Lightning needs in order to move in. Mammoths down to half their team, and I think, oh my gosh, we're going to see the Nano Blade coming out as well as the Transcendence popped on the side of Lightning. I'm not really sure that Dark can get anything, and nope, Genji Main's going to take them down. A great Transcendence to really just stop any sort of aggression. We're going to see the Transcendence coming out from Daydream, but it was just to hold the point, so that lift is just going to get the full kill there.
Yeah, Moist, though, able to get the recontest. 30 seconds on the clock. They're ticking down so much time from the Lightning, but the Lightning eventually able to clear it. But, man, that was an extra maybe 20 seconds taken off there by the Nano Blade and Moist. So hopefully they're able to get back into the fight quite quickly, and we're going to see Moist actually hop over to the Junker Queen for the first time tonight and actually switch over to the Rhine, not for the first time tonight. Soup going to be hopping off of that Widowmaker, now hopping onto the Cassidy, and this could be a really good change. I'm sure that they changed for the exact same reason we saw the Midtown switch on that third point. It's just so much more close quarters. You don't really need that Widowmaker anymore. BBQ able to take out Dark, but Moist there to get the equalizer onto Genji Mains. WoW Classic finding C-Squared from the flank, though, and there's the high ground, able to find Soup as well, looking for the third. Not going to be finding it quite yet. Now looking at Moist.
Oh my gosh, and WoW Classic and Barbecue with that that teamwork there. Moist not really able to do anything, not really able to shake off both of these players, and they're able to find that kill. Time is ticking away. Dark gonna find Music Woman in the corridor. This should favor Genji, and it does.
Yeah, it definitely benefits Genji there. Music Woman still going to be on the Widowmaker. We've seen Soup already switch off, so a little concerning for the Lightning with that pick. Could be the difference maker. Now, there it is, finally going over to the Tracer, which could, honestly, just in the last 30 seconds, be so important for the Lightning. BBQ ready with that Junk Tire. Going to be finding one, actually only taking out C-Squared. Moist only losing about half HP from the Tire there, just on the outside of its radius. Soup and Daydream getting some trades in, but BBQ still there, able to find Moist. Dark trading that back out. Now it's all up to Sunky and the Zenyatta for the Lightning. 5 seconds left, and Mammoth looking really good right now to win this out, as Soup able to take out Sunky, looking for a second pick. That's going to be the Tracer having to recall, not going to be able to get the overtime touch. And man, the Mammoth's looking so strong on Dorado, not letting it go to point number 3.
I mean, honestly, again, you have to contribute that so much to Soup for that first point hold. Obviously, that first choke point, Mammoths really struggled there. They got immediately knocked off, and the Lightnings, to their credit, were able to just bulldoze through and almost make it to completion for that first checkpoint. But then once Soup found their rhythm, found their perch, it was nearly impossible to knock them off.
Yeah, I mean, an insane hold from the Mammoths. The Lightning had the opportunity once they were able to take the high ground, but unfortunately just not going to be able to do enough damage between BBQ and WoW Classic being the only two up on the points after the rest of the team got taken down for the flank to happen. But in a good flank, nonetheless, almost got them the game. Not over yet, though. Now the Mammoth's going to be on the attacking side. And interestingly enough, we have not seen a Winston come out from either side.
We haven't. It seems like both these teams really favor that Sigma, which, to be fair, the Sigmas on both teams have been doing amazing for their respective teams. So I understand the comfortability of it. If you want to stay a character that you know is already doing well, may as well stay that character. And this is kind of looking very reminiscent of what we just saw on the last map here. Just a little bit flipped, where the Mammoths basically need to push this payload to completion, and the Lightnings just need to do their best to hold as long as they can. We're going to see Music Woman on the Hanzo, a character that we have seen them played just a little bit before in the past, but Dark and C-Squared going to start things off quickly with a kill for their own. Soup still on that Widowmaker, still getting headshots.
Yeah, Dark able to follow up that headshot onto Music Woman, and Moist moving forward onto Sunky. That's, I think, a team wipe, just slightly staggered for the Lightning. It's now the Mammoths moving forward underneath the second checkpoint here. This is where we saw the Lightning get hold up for a little bit. See if the Mammoths have the same thing, or if they find just a more efficient run.
Yeah, really interesting. That first choke point, both of these teams seem like they struggle with holding, or maybe both teams are just really good at taking and pushing through this first choke point. I don't know what it is. Typically, we see teams get caught up a little bit longer here, and it's really this last point of this checkpoint that we see them having a little bit of struggle, as we see WoW Classic picking up the kill onto Moist.
Yeah, and Sunky going to be using this corner position here so well to just zone back the Mammoths, keep them away from the point, and just do so much damage as they have to wait for Dark to come back. Moist not going to be able to really recontest just yet as they're walking back from spawn. Oh, wow. Sunky with the pick onto C-Squared with some big damage coming out from WoW Classic, and now looking at Soup. Soup back in the 1v1 once again. Zen going to be able to hold on to the high ground.
Yeah, WoW Classic doing such a great job picking up another kill onto Daydream, although has to be careful for that Genji. Soup and Dark both going to get a kill as they're going in. Finally, WoW Classic pushed off of that high ground. It took a very long time, though. That solo Zen was doing so much.
Yeah, a lot of damage from the Zenyatta, eventually able to get forced out. BBQ, though, still for the Lightning, holding out the defense. Dark gets shut down, and shutting down C-Squared. Soup not having the same game they have had in previous maps of the series, but still doing a lot of damage nonetheless on the Widowmaker. The Mammoths going to be looking to take this point soon as we're coming up on 4 ultimates for their side. They're going to have Transcendence, Nano, Lift, and Blade. So they're going to have a lot of options for the side of the Mammoths, but not going to have the option of Soup popping off anymore as Music Woman able to take out their head.
Yeah, that was very, very clean. Music Woman really likes that perch up there, so just moving off. We're going to see Moist with the lift getting behind. Only finds one player. That player is Genji Mains, who may be going down as we see Dark pulling out the blade, just hunting. But is there anyone to hunt for? Barbecue says no and shuts it down.
Yeah, I don't think that the Genji was ready for Genji Mains to get taken down so early in the fight there. Looked like that was their initial blade target, and once they had used the dash, just not able to capitalize onto any other players, and that's going to allow the actually, the Mammoths are going to be allowed to do that anyway, because they won the team fight, not because of the Genji ultimate. But they're just moving forward on to payload checkpoint number 1. I'm so lost and confused at the moment. But
He's out of it.
Music Woman still winning the 1v1 against Soup, turning things around in favor of the Lightning. C-Squared able to shut down WoW Classic. And WoW Classic almost ready with that Transcendence for their side. C-Squared still managed to hold on to that Nano. Barbecue shutting down Dark Q. Moist able to take out Genji Mains, but it's just going to be back and forth here as neither teams are really regrouping.
Oh my gosh, and Music Woman really making a statement this game, making sure that they know that they do have the capability to pop up just like Soup did last time. BBQ, though, getting so many kills, looking like the Barbecue that we saw in that first game on Colosio. It seems like this attack side is something that the Lightnings have practiced maybe a bit more, or maybe they're more comfortable on this defending side of Dorado here, because Barbecue looks more comfortable, is able to get more of these kills. Music Woman able to position themselves more in an advantageous position and get the kill onto Soup time and time again.
And the Mammoths able to position over onto the right side, but unfortunately Music Woman just going to continue to shut down the push. That DPS just keeps getting picked. And I guess the defensive side Widow is just so much easier as, you know, you don't have to walk anywhere. They have to walk into you. Soup able to get the shot on a Music Woman, though, to turn that around. Sunky finding Moist, the even trade back and forth. But Mammoths moving the payload onto the checkpoint? I didn't actually realize the checkpoint ticked over.
Yep, they did it a little bit ago, actually.
Oh, that's right. I totally... I'm so
he glossed over it. No worries, no worries.
It's okay, it's okay.
Honestly, though, it's easy.
I don't want to gloss over this, though. WoW Classic finding 2, ready with the Transcendence, 4 ultimates to the side of the Lightning, ready for the next fight. And the next team fight's going to be a big one once Dark gets that Genji Blade back.
I mean, it's going to be a big one regardless. We see 4 ultimates on the side of Lightning. We have 3 ultimates. Well, now 2 ultimates as Moist uses that lift. But so many ultimates to blow, so many ultimates to use. Moist did use their ultimate, and we didn't get too much out of it. But the Lightnings, they are also going to use their lift. Not really getting too much out of it. But, oh, here we go. Mammoths now making an opportunity, opening things up. Sunky and Barbecue not going down without a fight, though.
Yeah, and so far been really even around this archway. The Mammoth struggling to get through to that second point, and the Lightning slowly turning this game around. 30 seconds left on the clock. The Mammoths going to have to get a convincing team fight here to stay in this.
Yeah, they're really going to have to do something. The Lightning's in full control of the game right now. They want that rematch against the Landslides. Barbecue trying to make it happen. We see the ultimate. It's not going to find anyone, though, and instead they're going to get taken out by the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, Dark just jumping directly on to the ulting Junkrat's head. Just going to use the blade to get the pick. Moist finding WoW Classic. And now Moist looking for the second one, trying to take out both the supports from the side of the Lightning. Genji Mains there to help also take out Music Woman. Soup going to be there to help take out Genji Mains and Music Woman. Daydream there for Sunky. Overtime now as the Mammoths wrap around to checkpoint number 2, and the Lightning somehow losing out in that 30 seconds. I don't know how they're going to get the recontest. The Trans coming out. Barbecue on the point. Not going to have the ultimate. Just going to be aiding so much damage. WoW Classic not keeping them in their radius. Now getting shut down themselves off the point. And the Mammoths coming back into this with taking down 1 DPS, 1 support. And that's the checkpoint. A minute 30 back on the clock.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know how this happened. Lightning's unfortunately letting it slip through, victory slip through their grasp. The Mammoths pushing forward. They have the momentum. Dark and Soup picking up 2 kills of their own, just making more and more space for themselves as we're getting closer and closer to this Lightning endpoint that we saw earlier.
And Dark going to just be stacking on the point with the rest of the Mammoths. Now going to be leaving just that one player as they're ready for the next team fights. The Lightning had enough time to regroup now, and the Mammoths wrapping around the corner. It's going to be potentially the last team fight here as we are under 45 seconds left. Going to have a flank coming out from Music Woman on the back, looking at C² with the Sigma, able to find them. That's a support gone, but Genji Mains get traded out by Moist. Daydream able to take out BBQ, and that's a big player gone. Music Woman finds Daydream. WoW Classic able to take out Moist. Soup finds WoW Classic as well. And oh my gosh, it's just so back and forth on the point right now. Dark for the Mammoths. Music Woman getting the melee. Tracer going to be last alive for the Mammoths right now, getting the stagger. Or not getting the stagger, just playing to keep this payload not moving back any more. As ball comes in, it's going to be Moist.
Yeah, we are going to see the Nano onto Sunky, trying to make something happen. C² and Soup pick up kills of their own. The tanks are still alive on the point, and it is just a brawl. So many kills being traded back and forth, but C² and Dark also picking up kills on their own. And Mammoths are going to do it. They finally push off Sunky, and with that, Mammoths come back from a devastating first loss on Colosio to win the series 2-1 against the Lightnings.
And an insane series it was. We saw Soup absolutely be dominant here for the side of the Mammoths, able to take out BBQ right there for this play of the game, just finding so many clean headshots, looking right at Sunky there. There's the third. And that was like the entire match. That was like a very small clip of like Soup was just popping off. Like, that was just, like, the entire game. So, like, an insane Widowmaker player right there. And I was not expecting that. But after the Midtown game, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, especially Dorado on defense. Soup was going crazy. Like you said, that was just a small clip out of the highlight reel that Soup can walk away from this map. Just so many kills, so many headshots. And, of course, Midtown, they did such a fantastic job as well. This is getting me really excited for the finals. The Mammoths, a team that I think I was sleeping on a little bit.
I definitely was.
Well, I was not ready for the Mammoths to come out and win this. I really thought the Lightnings, they had the best shot against the landslides, but I am happy to be proven wrong. The Mammoths looking like a fierce team that got to be respected.
100%. They are such a dominant force here in the Overwatch Rumble. We saw them last week, unfortunately, lose out to the landslides, but now they have the rematch opportunity after winning out in the group stage. We head into the finals here in a few minutes, but before that, we're going to take a short break.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Hello and welcome back to the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting from the Shenandoah Esports Arena, and we are here ready for the finals. I could not be more ecstatic about the energy in the room. I mean, it is finals time, baby, and the Landslides are going to be taking on the Mammoths. I am so excited. I am Josh Cunningham. This is Alexander T. Kresek, and we are so happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, the Landslides, a team, as we were talking about earlier, 3-0 in the season in the group stage. The Mammoths, a team that we weren't really expecting. I was sleeping on them a little bit. I think you were sleeping on them a little bit as well. Making it out of the group play in order to get another shot at the Landslides. It is going to be an incredible match, especially after everything that we've seen the Mammoths do tonight. I cannot wait to see if Soup will step back into that Widowmaker and pull off some more headshots.
Yeah, I mean, hitting so many flicks, finding all of the headshots that you possibly can. To actually see the headshot percentage would be insane that game.
Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. But before we get into any more crazy games, we have a quick word from our friends over at Esports Tower. We want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower club members who have graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received over $3.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players on this list are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities that these players are getting. Esports Tower doing a great job to provide a platform for these players to showcase all of their skills, all of their talents, as well as refine those skills and talents, and then be showcased to colleges and the like. So, just so many great opportunities presented by Esports Tower, really. So, I mean, Esports Tower just doing a great thing. Check them out at esportstower.com. Get started on your 2-week free trial. Get better at games. Give it a try.
It's that easy. esportstower.com. I mean, honestly, of course, we at Shenandoah University love everything that deals with esports, especially when it's moving into the collegiate space or moving past that, going beyond gaming, of course. So everything that Esports Tower does is incredible, and we love to see them just scholarships, helping out players, getting people the training, the coaching that they need. It's so fantastic. I'm so excited that we are working with Esports Tower, and we can hopefully continue to do so into the future.
Yeah, I mean, Esports Tower doing a great job to provide us with competitions like this Overwatch Rumble. And man, this Overwatch Rumble is about to end as we are entering into the finals. Going to be the Mammoths taking on the Landslides. And to start things off, we will be playing on Control Busan. Busan going to be an awesome map from Overwatch 1 back in Overwatch 2, and I'm super excited to see these teams go head-to-head once again, especially with the Mammoths, who have come back swinging at the end of the group stage as they get ready for finals.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about, as you just saw, the Mammoths looking very incredible tonight. Of course, first map is Busan. This is a map that we have not seen, not to one of the traditional control maps that we typically start on. Typically, if we are going to see control, we're going to see something like Lijiang or Nepal. So it is awesome that we get to see something different tonight with Busan.
Yeah, I mean, Busan going to be really interesting. Normally we have, again, Lijiang or Nepal, like you were just saying, and those maps are so awesome. So many environmental kill opportunities that we love to see come out from these Lucio players. Not going to be as many here on Busan, but still some towards the edges. So we'll have to see who's able to get more of them. Is it going to be Daydream? Is it going to be Control? Or is it going to be someone else who just gets some insane boops? Like Moist, is he going to take out an entire team? We will have to wait and see. Busan is unexpected ground, and I'm really excited for these teams. Fulcrum going to be hopping in for the Landslides on the tank. Blank back with the Junkrat. Alakath are going to be on the Sojourn. Mango and Control are going to be the supports. Control on that Lucio. Mango on the BAP. And a pretty even comp on the other side as Fulcrum's able to take out Dark, and that's the Sojourn gone from the Mammoths. as well as the Baptiste, and C-Squared gets taken down. Moist falling back, but there's the other support, and that's going to be the entirety of the Mammoths wiped out.
Oh my gosh, so quickly. Great job by the Landslides just to get those first couple opening picks, with Fulcrum doing so much on that Reinhardt, making such an entrance into this series. I mean, if we were worried about the Mammoths being too hot tonight, the Landslides come in to cool them down even just a little bit, as we see Dark switching off of that Genji onto the Mei. A big thing to note for the Mammoths lineup is that we are going to be seeing Avian taking the place of Barbecue instead for tonight on this map here.
Yeah, I mean, Avian going to be a very strong player that we saw in the Summer Invitational, as well as Mango for the Landslides. Fulcrum was a tank. Blank was a DPS as well. So a lot of all-stars here in this game. The Mammoths, though, going to be having a tough time. Actually, going to be in control of the point. The Landslide's going to be having a tough time taking control of it, but Blank starts things off by finding two. Shatter ready for Fulcrum, and this is going to be the point flipping over to the side of the Landslides.
Yeah, Fulcrum doesn't need to do anything, doesn't need to use that Shatter just yet, can save it for the next fight. We also see Blink has that junk tire, and again, Blank, not only a returning player, but also the player of the week last week for their incredible play. So there is a little bit of pressure for Blank to perform again, because we know they have it in them.
And a Shatter tire could be huge here, especially behind the window, but it's going to be blocked by Moist, who's almost ready with their very own charge. But Blank jumps in with the tire anyways, able to find three. Fulcrum takes out Moist, and the Landslides continue to hold the point. Avian trying to get away, but it will not be able to.
Avian doing their best, trying to use all of the Reaper tricks to get out, but can't escape Justice and the Hammer. Oh my gosh, Alcath pushed up so far here, and gonna get caught off by the Mei. Maybe a mistake there on the positioning.
Yeah, Control and Alcath look to be setting up some sort of play on the flank. Control just sitting behind a box waiting for the team to pass him by, but they didn't pass him by. They definitely saw him and were able to take out the IGL from the Landslides. Now the Landslides going to be having to do something, but not going to be able to do enough with those two players falling so early in the fight. Blank trying to get the damage out, but Avian going to be able to eventually get the frag onto them. Fulcrum as well going to fall, and the Mammoths take control of the point.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Blank, they can do so much damage on that Junkrat, but when you're Reaper, you can just kind of phase through a lot of the big things until Junkrat is kind of out of resources. We're going to see a Shatter onto 3. What a fantastic option from Moist, but Avian coming in with the Reaper ultimate as well. That Death Blossom going to find 3.
Yeah, all the abilities went on to the Reinhardt, who was able to get out of dodge. Avian jumping onto the heads of the Landslides, just going to take out 3 of them, completely stopping that push. Now the Mammoth's going to be reset by 2 ultimates. The Landslides ready with the tire, going to be finding C-Squared. That's a very important player from the Mammoth side, taking down Earth Shatter going out as well, and that's going to be it for the Mammoths, who have already lost 3 in this team fight, and that's going to be the point going over to the side of the Landslides.
Yeah, we do see Blizzard come out, but unfortunately I think it's just a little bit too late. 97% for the Mammoths, so they're in a good position, but now the Landslides have control and still have ultimate control as well, even though they did spend a couple to take that fight.
Yeah, both teams going to have beat for the next fight if Daydream's able to just get a little bit more ult charge here. And that could be big for either of these rosters right now. Sojourn ready with the overclock beat coming out for both sides. Yeah, for both sides. Oh, no, for one side, and it's going to be the Landslides who use it to capitalize so well onto the Mammoths. Beat just going to give them so much HP. Daydream not quite going to be there with it yet, but the objective gets secured. Nobody able to touch from the side of the Mammoths. I don't know who was there for the stagger, but they just did not get the touch.
They didn't. We saw Avian from up top trying to jump down, but wasn't there fast enough. And with that, Landslides take that first point on Busan. Again, very close, 100% to 97%. The Mammoths not going to make it easy for the Landslides tonight.
No, not at all. We're going to see some things start to get switched up as we head over to the temple here on Busan. And man, Avian going to be switching over onto that Genji, and they are dangerous with that blade, especially now that we have C-Squared on the Ana. Nanoblade ready for the Mammoths here. That is going to be a very dangerous combo, as well as the overclock on Dark. Going to be so much damage coming out of this DPS line. Blank and Alucard will be ready to respond. Blank going to be mirroring the Genji pick, though.
Yeah, and our first Winston of the night, not coming out of Dorado, but instead on Busan. Fulcrum pulling out that monkey, really trying to make sure that the team has the mobility, and it looks like it's working out for them immediately as Alucard gets credited for that kill. And oh my gosh, running down Moist as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the play from the Mammoths was there, but having the tank walk towards the point by themselves I don't think was the best idea. The rest of the Mammoths line just not going to be there to support them in any sort of form. And that's just going to give the Landslides a very open point to start this off.
Yeah, and especially something to note about Overwatch 2 is Winston now has the ability to have a little bit more range with that right click, able to really get more out of being the monkey. You don't just need to jump in and attack someone, you can actually start poking from range.
Yeah, and it's going to be really powerful too. I mean, just that little bit of extra range is going to do so much for Winston, who's just going to be constantly trying to get out of the fight. But you want to not be useless when you're out of the fight, right? You want to still be able to affect the game. You know, drop your bubble in, watch them peek out, charge it while they're inside of it, you know. So there's a lot more utility now for the Winston here, and we're going to see how they're able to use that. They're able to just poke down a lot more damage from the Mammoths, forcing out that Sigma shield earlier, really slowing down the push.
Okay, and again, we see Moist just caught off by themselves, no one around. The Mammoths really do, of course, tanks have a lot of health, a lot of defense in this game, but you can't just leave your tank to dry. You've got to stay around your tank, make sure that they're not just left on their own. And it sounds like the Mammoths left their, they forgot their child, basically, or their pet. But basically, you have to take care of your tanks. You can't just let them go off on their own. Moist is just going to get taken down by 3 members of the Landslides, as we see a nanoed Winston coming into the fray.
Yeah, and into the fray indeed. Going for the brawl. Going to be finding Dark and Daydream control. Able to take out C-Squared. Blade ready for Avian, but they're not going to want to use it yet here, as waiting for C-Squared to get that nano and come back. Just trying to stay alive. Avian going to somehow get all the way back to full health. Get the nano. Now blading. There's going to be the beat coming out to defend from the Landslides. And yeah, Mammoth's not going to be able to get onto the point. The Landslides taking the first map of the series. And man, what an insane hold on the drums. Just not going to be able to get any grouping from the Mammoths, unfortunately.
Nah, and Blank going to be getting that play of the game on the Junkrat. I believe this is the triple kill that we saw earlier in the series. Yes, it is. Tire just doing so much damage. Fulcrum didn't get the shatter, but it still ended up being a shatter tire combo, even if the shatter didn't connect.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the bomb shatter combo, where you have your Reinhardt from Overwatch 1, when you could have 2 tanks in the game. You would have your Reinhardt stand on one side of the team, and the D.Va be on the other side of the team, and the D.Va would use the bomb, and the Reinhardt would shatter, and the other Rein would have to block one of them.
One or the other.
And so one or the other. So he was able to block the shatter, but wasn't thinking about the tire. Dropped that shield, and the rest of the team got blown up.
Absolutely. And with that, the Landslides a fantastic start, but I think this is maybe expected based on their scoreline for the entirety of the group stage. 3-0. The last time the Landslides took on the Mammoths, which was last week, they 2-0'd them, and then they played a friendly match as well after that, and the Landslides just looked dominant throughout the entirety of it. Of course, for the first point of Busan, it was very, very close. For that second point, the Landslides really looked like they were in the swing of things. They had full control of the map. I think the Mammoths just weren't ready for the aggression brought out by the Winston.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be heading back over to Midtown for the Mammoths' second pick here, and I could not blame them, especially after their performance earlier in the night, putting Soup on the Widowmaker. They were just able to get so many frags, and actually I think that's who was missing from the Mammoths lineup in the last game, was going to be Soup. And Avian doing a great job to replace them, but unfortunately not going to be having just the same overall impact on the game as that first series that we saw. But we'll see what happens as we head into Midtown.
Oh, yeah, I misspoke. The maps Lightning and the Mammoths, I said barbecue instead.
Yeah, I was
but
like, I
Soup.
don't think barbecue's on
Soup
their
was
team.
missing, not barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue was also missing, but that's for a different reason. Yeah. But yeah, Soup was missing. That fragger that makes such an impact for the side of the Mammoths, especially after they had such a great performance against the Lightnings.
But now I think we're going to see the really super duo here between Soup and Avian going to be on the DPS line. The Mammoths so far have had really solid lines the entire time, but Soup and Avian definitely stand out from the DPS players here in this competition. And man, Blank does as well, obviously, and Alakath. All these DPS players have their moments, do not get me wrong. But Soup and Avian definitely in the past have been very notable, and I am really excited to see their DPS duo here.
Absolutely. Soup hovering over that Sojourn, not the Widowmaker that we may have been expecting, but still can do a lot with that Sojourn, especially with that railgun shot. Of course, it is basically a one-hit KO with a headshot. And both these teams really digging deep into their bag of players, making sure that they're using all of their players effectively instead of Fulcrum that we saw earlier on the tank for the landslides. We are going to see Joe instead.
Yeah, Joe, I think the first time we were seeing them in the competition, Blank going to be on the Genji once again here, having to challenge the entire team as Soup takes out Joe, and Soup once again getting the early frags, forcing landslides back off the high ground. That tank already gone control, going to get the trade onto Avian, but don't know what's going to happen here as the landslides lose Blank, and now the Mammoths are able to take space.
And with that, if you give the Mammoth space, they will take a mile. C-Squared gonna find Toxic. Daydream gonna find Alakath, and they are just flooding this point now. I don't think the landslides can do much as Daydream picks up another one.
And Daydream with the Zenyatta once again gonna be absolutely fragging out using all of these long angles and just so much range for the Zen. Big damages while Avian able to take out Blank on the flank. But the landslides still going to be forced back here as all these players are just getting so low HP. Joe barely staying alive there by the help of the support line. And the Mammoths continue to press forward, taking out Toxic, and that's not good for the landslides, losing the support early.
Oh, no, not at all. And the Mammoths just aren't showing any signs of slowing down, dealing so much damage. Alakath pinched in by Soup and Daydream, nowhere to go. And right now we see the landslides, they're not even set up for this high point. The Mammoths can just roll through this without the landslides even getting a proper foothold on this choke point that we see so many players struggle to get through.
Yeah, and there's just no grouping here as we head into the pause from either team, and I really think that's just going to really stagnate both teams. So it is good for the defense because time will continue to tick down off of that clock, but I mean, you do not want to be as spread out as either of these teams are. If the landslides were up on top of that tunnel, they would just be able to be so much more effective, and yeah, I mean, just leaving so many sight lines open for the Mammoths to utilize instead, as well as just literally leaving the space open. So now all these players are everywhere. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Once we get back into the game, though, it's going to be really interesting to see as these 1v1s start to be won by each member of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, and the Mammoths already such a fantastic start. It seems like they play better in the second half of the series where they really come into their own. I mean, they had such a fantastic Midtown performance that this is almost expected.
It's not a Midtown performance.
Yeah,
it's a uptown performance.
It's an uptown. It really is, though. This may very well be their best map. This Midtown may be Mammoth's best map, especially because every time we see them on it, they are killing it.
And we're going to have to start to see them killing it once again as they start to group towards that payload. Will they be able to move into the landslides and take this high ground and continue towards that second checkpoint? Or will the landslides finally group up and hold here? Lift comes out from the side of the Mammoths. Alakath able to take out Soup through it, but Avian's there finding the double on the dash after Moist gets the pick onto Joe. And this payload's going to continue to move forward here towards the train station.
And like that, even though the Landslides were able to get up onto that high ground, it wasn't quick enough. At that point, the Mammoths were already there. They were ready for it. Every time it looks like the Landslides are able to make something happen, the Mammoths are there to shut it down, and Avian with the blade gonna find one, looking for more, is gonna get the touch onto another, might get that Junker Queen, but the rest of the team falling on the side of Landslides. Mammoth moving forward. They are looking unstoppable as Soup finds another.
Yeah, Soup going to be just popping off, ready with the overclock for the next fight as well. Daydream has the Transcendence up. Joe almost ready with that Rampage for the Junker Queen, but Soup popping off still as they're able to take out Control and that eye field. Taking the elevator up towards the high ground, gonna
miss their stop again.
Dude, such a fast elevator. They gotta slow that thing down, I feel.
I just like that it almost seems like every time a player misses the elevator, the observer is there catching it.
Yeah, I mean, we see that elevator in the last match on Midtown as well. Alakath going to be able to take out Avian now. Soup popping that overclock for the side of the Mammoths. Landslides not going to have to do too much other than stay alive out of LOS. And that's a big Rampage for the Transcendence. Comes out to defend from Daydream. An absolutely massive support play for the side of the Mammoths. Will they be able to capitalize on it? Or is Blank going to now shut this push down with that blade? There it is. Going to be able to take out Soup. Control finding Moist. And the Landslides bouncing back into this map.
Yeah, with a team kill. But the thing is I wish the Landslides moved a little bit faster. Yes, there was the Transcendence, but that Rampage from the side of Junker Queen does apply the anti-heal. So even though there's a trans, if the Landslides moved faster, they could have picked off all three of those targets that were hit with that anti-heal and really just nullified the Transcendence at that time.
Yeah, I mean, Transcendence, I think, might have a slight damage reduction if you are in it as well. I'm not 100% positive, though, on that for Overwatch 2.
That sounds about right.
If that stayed in, but I'm pretty sure it does have a slight damage reduction. So that might be just enough sustain to get through, but it doesn't matter right now. The Mammoths will not be sustaining that push as the Landslides really start to feel confident on this hold here.
Yeah, finally getting their feet out of under them, but is it too little too late? I mean, they're already here looking at 3 minutes remaining. The Mammoths still have plenty of time and plenty of opportunities as Soup picks up 2. Joe's going to find 1, but the Mammoths are still pushing forward. Avian in the backline looking, hunting for this DPS line.
You can say their shots are really super right now.
Yes, you could say that, but you could also say Soup is getting kills with the flashbang as well. Avian picking up another one. Blank, practically all that's left, throwing down the trap, just trying to get these corner kills. Again, a great place to have these Junkrats. As we see Blank picking up 2, Alakath gonna find another. The Mammoths had it, but Landslides just have that spawn advantage, able to come back so much faster and pick up more kills.
We've seen the Mammoths in this position, though, before when they were playing against the Lightning earlier tonight, and they were able to have such a convincing hold on defense that it really didn't matter that they weren't able to push it all the way to point number 3. So this could be a painful next 2 minutes for the Mammoths, but they've already made so much progress, and if they're able to have a similar hold to earlier tonight, then I think that they can relax a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta feel confident in their abilities to defend on this map. We're gonna see Soup with the Cassie ultimate, gonna find Blank, and that is a fantastic pick. Blank, typically the last one. We're gonna see Shatter as well, and more of the Landslides are falling. We're also gonna see Window come out. All these ultimates are being used and expended. That's a team kill. This may be, I think there will be enough time for the Landslides to get back, but just barely. We are going to see the tire. It's going to get hit, but C-Squared's going to get taken down.
Unfortunately, not going to have the second player onto it. Anti-heal coming out from the Junker Queen ultimate now. Alakath popping a high noon of their own. Blank there to take out Soup, and the Landslides pushing back onto the point and taking it for themselves. 1 minute now on the clock. Only a few meters left for the Mammoths to push it all the way, but the Landslides have said no.
The Landslides said, stop that. We won't let you finish this map. Just a minute remaining for the Mammoths. They just need one good push, but the Landslide's posturing up, making sure that the Mammoths cannot get anywhere close to this payload. No ultimates available for anyone. Avian may be able to find that Tracer ultimate, but that is just about it. Both teams blowing everything to secure that last hold.
Moist able to open up the fight by tanking out Blank. Avian now ready with that pulse bomb, but low HP. Joe on the Junker Queen in the corner, waiting for Moist to push in. There's the push, but Moist gets the pick on the Toxic as Soup finds Alakath, and now the Landslides are in a dangerous position. They did take out Soup, but Moist is running forward with the help of Avian onto Joe, and that is not good for the Landslides. So the Mammoths get the team kill here. This will be the point, and all 3 points, that is, going their side, which is the first time I think we will have seen this on Midtown if it does happen. Alakath getting taken down by Avian.
Avian finding another one on Toxic. I mean, to Landslide's credit, they are still holding it. We thought it was going to be it, but they're holding their own. The Shatter comes out, finds 3. That will finish it up. Mammoths finish out the map with 0 seconds remaining.
I mean, a great job overall from the Mammoths, coming back right in the nick of time to push it all the way through to checkpoint number 3 in overtime. I mean, a great hold coming out from the Landslides as well, but obviously switching to that Wrecking Ball. You're going to lose the shield. You're not going to be able to block that Shatter. As soon as that Reinhardt saw that the tank was someone else, they were like, I win the game, I hit the Q button. And that's just an Overwatch moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fight, at the beginning of the fight, no one had ultimate, but it lasted long enough to just get enough ult percentage in order to get that Shatter, and that is really what you need to turn the tables on those fights. I mean, even though Landslides were doing a great job of stalling it out, we knew it had to come to an end at some point, and the Shatter will put a solid end to that hold for sure. So the ball is now fully in the court of the Landslides. If they want to take this map, if they want to close out this series, they need to get a full push. They need to fully complete the map and match the Mammoths. Anything less than that is Mammoth's game. And we have seen them on defense here. They did not let the Lightning get past this first checkpoint, this first hold, this first point.
Yeah, and Soup going to be back on the Widowmaker for the Mammoths. They are the player to watch at the moment. Their performance has been so clean tonight. Immaculate even, I might say.
Super, as you said earlier.
Super indeed. And yeah, I mean, Moist's going to be posturing here once again, but as soon as Soup starts popping off, probably going to see the defense switch, and it's already back over to the point as just an insanely fast comp comes out from the side of the Landslides. Just going to be moving directly onto the point already with that Moira and Lucio, and it started the 1v1s. Now Alakath able to take out Soup early. Moist finding that trade, but Blank and Avian going to trade out Daydream and each other as well. Toxic Kill able to take out C2, and it's just back and forth. I don't know who really has the advantage right now in this fight. It looks like it's going to be the Landslides as they're able to take out Moist. They had both supports still alive. C2 unfortunately falling to the Mammoths after Daydream.
That is one way to start things off. What a great adaptation for the Landslides, not letting Soup get anything. That full rush, just so difficult to deal with. Not even going for the subway car either, as we've seen a lot of teams kind of contesting, just running straight to the point, and it ended up working out for them very, very well. But Mammoth's able to regroup quickly. Now they have this high ground, and Joe just eating damage. Soup switching onto that Ashe and hitting these shots.
And we're also going to see Moist on the D.Va, which is going to be really interesting. I don't think the defense matrix is going to be that useful against the comp coming out from the Landslides. Alakath able to take out Soup in the backline, and it's the Landslides push onto the high ground now. See what this D.Va's looking to do in the brawl. Junker Queen tries to move back towards the high ground. Blank was able to take out Avian, trying to find a second. Daydream going to be going low. Alakath there, able to get the frag onto C2 as well. Now Moist falling to Blank, and the Mammoths will be pushed off the high ground with a great time push from the Landslides.
Yeah, Landslide's really looking like their former glory. This is the team that we've come to know and love through the group stages. This is the Landslides at their best right now. Mammoths just look like they don't have an answer to this.
Yeah, I mean, once you kind of got pushed off that high ground, I don't know what else you could really do as a Mammoth. They didn't have ultimates to kind of turn that fight around, and I'm really not sure what the D.Va pick is coming out here for, to be honest. Like, I just don't see where the value is.
Yeah, not really a character that we've seen a lot of in Overwatch 2, and basically to everything that you've said, there are just better tanks right now.
Yeah, I mean, Defense Matrix going to be such a good ability, but you really just don't need it, especially once you're up against a Junker Queen who's just going to ult into your entire team like that,
Yeah.
give them all anti-heal, and then say, okay, it's time.
And we see Landslides hitting that second checkpoint, 5 minutes to their name, and they are not slowing down as we see Alakath Joe picking up kills again on their own. They are just running to this checkpoint. Holy cow, the Landslides are looking fantastic right now.
Going to be having ultimates as well as that overclock's ready for the Sojourn. Avian going to be looking to contest it with their own blade. Moist coming up on the bomb. They're actually going to be D-Mech now. I was like, huh? But Control and Joe are doing a great job for the Landslides, just able to maintain so much space here. They're already in the spawn doors as that payload slowly moves behind them. Joe finds both Moist and Avian. That's both ultimates now gone from the side of the Mammoths. And man, this fight is just going to continue to be in the spawn doors. The Mammoths going to have a tough time to get back onto this objective. The Landslides really looking dominant right now.
Moist does have D.Va Bomb and is going to use it, and Landslides don't have a tank or a shield. Well, they do have a tank, but they don't have a shield to deal with that as Moist finds 2. Alakath and Toxic going to go down, and the rest of Landslides also following very quickly, but not before Blank able to find a kill on the C2.
I mean, the Mammoths going to do a good job to hold off the push for a little bit longer. The Landslides are looking to come back into this with more ultimates, and they want to win. They have plenty of time here. Yeah, I think this could go to overtime.
It is very possible, but we have so much time. We have 3.5 minutes.
No, I mean if they push it to 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if they
Within
push it to
reason.
3, yes. I completely understand. Something to note here is Moist did switch off of that D.Va after the D.Va Bomb. Maybe they just wanted that one impact play, and then switching to a Reinhardt, a much more conventional character. But the fight, again, going so back and forth. Moist getting a little bit of an advantage here, taking out Control and Blank, and Landslide's going to back off. But in the department of ultimates, they are looking at 3 ultimates, practically 4, because let's be honest, Tracer gets her ultimate so fast. Blank will have that ultimate in a moment here.
Yeah, it could start at the it could be at the very start of the next fight. Going to see Avian ready with the blade for the Mammoths. Going to be moving back to LOS of C2, ready for the Nano. Trying to make a play here, but the Landslides have plenty of ways to defend this. They have Joe with the anti-heal and Rampage. There's the Nano Blade, though. Going to be the beat immediately for the Landslides. Control ready for the Nano Blade, but not going to be enough as Avian waited out the beat and was able to just slash through the support line of the Landslides. The Mammoths looking so good right now as the DPS line finds all of the frags.
And I didn't think we would be seeing this, but time is ticking away from the Landslides. They're already down 3 minutes. When they started at 5, they just have 2 remaining, and they only have 2 ultimates, well, almost 3 with Toxic. But again, every time that they try to use their ultimates, try to get ahead, the Mammoths are ready for it. They're ready to counter with anything that the Landslides throw at them.
And we're going to see it really come down to the ultimates, I think, here in the end. Soup going to be able to find Control. Moist going to be able to shut down Joe and build that Shatter. Alakath going to be ready with the Overclock. Going to walk into the Fire Strike, unfortunately. But at least they didn't give Moist any more ult charge.
Yeah.
He already has it. Imagine if you could overcharge and like start stacking ults.
That would be
Overwatch 3,
insane.
guys. Overwatch 3.
No, don't talk about that. But we are looking at just a little over a minute left for the Landslides. Where did their lead go? Moist going to get a Shatter onto the Junker Queen, or onto Toxic rather, and the rest of the team following. We are going to see Joe in the background getting a kill, but Soup finding a kill onto Blank in response. So many kills going back and forth, but Mammoth's definitely getting the best out of this interaction.
Yeah, they might just be too big to move off of this point for the Landslides. And the Landslides only under a minute now on the clock to get this last little, like 15 or so meters Coalescence ready for the landslides as they make their push towards the payload now. C-Squared going to be the only one with the ultimate for the Mammoths, but Avian going to look to charge that blade as fast as possible in this fight.
Toxic just trying to sneak through. We are going to see the Coalescence come out. Control is going to find a kill. 2 kills on the side of Mammoths. The Coalescent trying to do everything to keep damage as well as health going out to the players. Joe going to find a kill as well. With Avian down, the Landslides do have an opportunity. They're going to try to make something happen. Joe trying to hit these shotgun shots, but Soup staying alive for so long. Finally taken down. C-Squared going to find Control.
I don't know what happened to Moist there. It looked like he was going to go down for sure, but the support line kept him alive. C-Squared doing their absolute best with Daydream to just keep this Shatter going. There's the second Shatter in the fight now as Moist finds the back line and the Mammoths storm through the landslides. Man, what an insane turnaround for the Mammoths once again on Midtown as they come back at the end to stop the push on point number 3 from the landslides and equalize the finals here. 1-1 as we head towards map number 3. But first, play of the game going to be Blank once again with the Junkrat.
This Junkrat is just doing so much for the team. So much big damage, big plays. And I mean, we didn't even see the tire for that one. We just saw a couple of quick multi-kills on the side of Blank, just putting in so much work on that Junkrat. But my mind is still kind of blown from that last push. We saw oh my gosh, we saw the landslides push straight through checkpoints 1 and 2.
And then be held for 5 minutes.
5 minutes straight on that
so insane.
Third checkpoint. Yeah, and every time it looked like they were winning out on that fight, the Mammoths would respawn fast enough to get back into the fight. They would prolong the fight long enough that they would just slowly waste the resources of the landslides until there was nothing left and the Mammoths could continue to hold.
Yeah, I mean, the Mammoths just having enough sustain to survive on the point in the end. Man, that has been an insane series so far as we get ready for map number 3. But before that, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Esports Tower. You can check them out on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Esports Tower. And if you want to learn more about Shenandoah Esports, you can check us out over at ShenU Esports on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And then on Twitch and YouTube, it's going to be at Shenandoah Esports. So twitch.tv/Shenandoah Esports and youtube.com/Shenandoah Esports. So thank you so much for checking those out and staying tuned. Let's get back into the action.
And here we go. The last map is going to be an escort map. Where are we going? Nowhere other than Dorado.
Of course.
We have to go back to Dorado. Of course, escort going to be on Dorado. Again, another great map for the Mammoths, specifically for Soup, who we saw popping off earlier this evening. I mean, I think if you're the Mammoths, you couldn't ask for a better map to close out this series. But, I mean, the landslides, they are not 3-0 for no reason.
That's very true.
They're a very talented team. Their DPS lineup is insane. We have seen a lot out of Blank. Alakath has been a little quieter than we normally see them. But you got to put everything on the line here for these finals.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're just really getting picked out early. We see so much focus from Soup onto the other team's DPS line, just shutting them down as fast as they can.
Yep.
So it's really hard if you are Alakath to just stay alive long enough to really respond to that, especially if you aren't mimicking the Widowmaker pick.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to see Soup hovering that Cassidy rather than the Widowmaker, and we are going to see the return of Fulcrum on the side of the landslides, as well as the return of Avian on the side of the Mammoths. So lots of changes up here. Again, both of these teams have a lot of sub players that they can reach into their pockets and pull out when they need specific situations. And of course, I think Fulcrum's the correct choice for the landslides because we are going to see this Winston again, and we know how well Fulcrum did earlier on map 1.
Yeah, I mean, doing a great job on Busan with the Winston pick. And honestly, I feel like in Overwatch 2, it's just so much easier to take this initial checkpoint now that the off tank is gone. They're not able to really help the support line hold some weird off angle for 5 years. So I think this is just a lot easier for these teams to kind of push forward in now that that second tank is gone. The defensive side definitely receiving some kind of a nerf here, but Moist says, I don't really care that much. I'm going to find the pick onto control from the Landsides, and the Landside's going to be stopped just a little bit here underneath the bridge.
Yeah, and Avian doing a fantastic job on this Tracer, just being so annoying, flicking in and out of the backline. Daydream gonna find Fulcrum, and this is the opening that they need. Control just kicking Avian out of here as they try to keep control of the point, but Landslides have to back up as they've lost too many players. They gotta regroup and try again.
Yeah, unfortunately they did lose control of the point, but they did keep control alive, which is great for the Landsides. They look to get back into this second checkpoint here. Soup looking at the flank. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Maybe just some echo or something. Little bit curious about why they keep checking behind them. But Soup now looking forward at the rest of the team as the Landsides prepare to make their push after grouping.
I think Blank may be behind the team as Blank is on that Tracer roll. Soup gonna find Toxic though, and it may not matter where Blank's position is as we are seeing Avian rush down that support line.
Yeah, unfortunately though for the Mammoths, not going to be able to get the value out of that pulse bomb. Thankfully, Tracer, as you said earlier, charges that thing so quick. Soup going to be ready for the Mammoths though with this high noon now. And that is going to be very dangerous, especially if they find a great position to pop this ultimate.
Yeah, the Cassie ultimate just so impactful, can do so much, and force players to move out of line of sight. Oh, but Soup gonna get jumped on by Fulcrum, able to secure that. Actually, Fulcrum and Blank, who showed up out of nowhere, and now Mammoths have an opportunity with Soup, the only person on the Mammoths who actually had an ultimate.
Oh, I see what the Landsides are doing. They're playing this a little bit like the traditional ball comp in Overwatch 1. They just have the Tracer immediately diving in behind Fulcrum wherever he decides to charge. So they're just kind of moving the Tracer around with the tank to get the picks on whoever he jumps on, which is just such a great strategy here, especially now that he has so much more range and just so much more ability in Overwatch 2 for Winston. And now that ultimate coming on for the Landsides as well, as they're coming up across almost all of them.
Yeah, but Moist staying alive somehow. Fulcrum in the backline, getting a C squared with the Primal Fury. Also going to find Avian as well. That should surely be the checkpoint for the Landslides as they are just chasing down members of Mammoth who just have to run away. Alcath gonna find another one. That's a double kill for them. They have ultimate and they are looking ready. Oh, well, maybe not quite as ready as they wanted to be.
Not quite having the jumps yet, still warming up the old calf muscles and getting the pause. Wow, they do it. We're gonna be heading into a quick pause for hopefully just a few seconds. But yeah, I mean, the game so far going great. I mean, the Mammoths doing a great job holding so far. Unfortunately, that payload was eventually pushed past that first checkpoint. But the Landslides just taking so much time to do it. We haven't seen them this slow so far on one of these maps. So
I agree.
I think the Mammoths are doing a great job so far. They're just going to have to keep sustaining for a little bit longer on defense and have a very convincing attack. And they might be our champions.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the Mammoths have changed up in their strategy, maybe they've worked on the maps more, have gotten more comfortable with each other. I don't know what it is, but they are definitely looking like a different team than what we saw last week.
I think it's Soup.
It very well may be Soup for sure. But last week, when we saw the Landslides versus the Mammoths, it was no contest. The Landslides were just winning. And now the Mammoths giving the Landslides just a run for their money. I mean, they're looking like a completely different team. And you're right, it very well may be this star-studded DPS lineup as Soup on the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, Avian, they're a great second DPS as well. It's just going to be making so many plays themselves. So, I mean, just nothing really to worry about from the DPS line of the Mammoths. The Landside's going to have really strong DPS in both Alakath and Blank. Unfortunately, though, Alakath not having the Knight that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, that is true. Alakath really has been a bit quiet. Blank making as much plays as they can, but there's only so much you can do as a single DPS, as both DPS get taken down by both supports of the Mammoths.
Yeah, I mean, C-Squared and Daydream have been doing such a great job, not only with healing the teams, but getting so many frags. The Zenyatas tonight have been, I think, some of the biggest damage dealers in the game by far, just doing an absolutely great job with that character, and obviously picking such good maps to tailor to this Ana Zen as well.
Oh no, you have to be careful though. Soup is on the Widowmaker now. We saw a couple of headshots going. Avian is going to find Toxic kill, and Fulcrum on the other side though, picking up Daydream and C-Squared, able to find the backline, but Soup again, so dangerous on this Widowmaker. Oh my gosh, able to find the Tracer and just looking for more. The ultimate is popped, so they do have the walls. Trying to get the monkey as the jump is made. Ooh, Soup is very low though, has to be careful. This Roadhog can only protect so much.
I think the support's now finally getting LOS on the Soup as that Zen puts the orb on him. And Soup doing a great job to kind of keep the space for the team just with that pick in the backline. Completely forced the Landsides to move back towards the point. And Soup able to find both supports as well with the help of that Transcendence coming from Daydream. And they're going to be able to collapse onto Fulcrum. Alakath did find the Zenyatta, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough of a stagger to affect the next team fight.
You know, we talk about timing a lot in these games. In Overwatch and Call of Duty, there's always a timing, but I think our observer just got timinged as well. We were watching Soup, and then as soon as we turned off of Soup, Soup got 2 kills on the support line. Very unfortunate, but again, Soup just such an impactful player, especially on this Widowmaker, on Dorado specifically.
I mean, Avian going to be able to find Blank, but you're absolutely right. Soup, a frag master here on the field, just doing so much. Alakath ready with the overclock, going to be popping it, trying to find Soup, but Soup had the full charge with a shot, and obviously found the head. Avian able to take out both the supports once again, and the DPS for the Mammoths continue to pop off as Avian finds the third.
Wow, the Mammoths are looking incredible right now, shutting out the Landslides, not letting them get to that second checkpoint. Ooh, the Landslides. I don't think we've ever seen them in a position like this before.
No, I feel like they're definitely sweating at this moment. The Mammoths, such a last week, just such a different team. To see them now here in the finals, I don't know how the Landsides could fathom it either.
No.
I mean, it's just an absolutely different performance here, and they're popping off. The Mammoths doing a great job here in the competition. The Landslides still have an opportunity to win this, though. They need to just hold better than the Mammoths did.
Yeah, and I think that is something that they could definitely do, especially if we start seeing Alakath heat up a little bit. Blank, we saw a little bit coming out from them. Of course, they're on the Tracer. We haven't seen them on the Tracer too much, but we do know that they can hit those shots. Fulcrum on that Sigma has the ability to pop off, and then of course, if you can keep your support alive, your supports rather alive, you know that these Zenyatas today have been hitting it off. I mean, especially we saw Daydream and Toxic, who have, funny enough, have a little bit of a rivalry, a friendly rivalry going on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, both Daydream and Toxic, friends, they have a little bit of a rivalry going on, so it is interesting that we get to see both of them in the finals, and now for potentially, for match point actually, we see them on the Zenyatta dittos basically here as Alakath takes out Daydream.
I mean, Alakath doing a great job now on the Soldier, deciding to move away from the snipers. We're going to see both of these teams once again pull out the Sigma. We saw this earlier in the Lightning versus Mammoth game on Dorado. But it was really interesting. I was happy to see Fulcrum back on the Winston, but now that they're on defense, they opt for the Sigma, which is just so unique for Overwatch 2. Once again, you're not going to be bouncing around between all these different areas like you were with D.Va or Winston in the past. Now you're just trying to hold one spot with your team, so it's just a lot different, and Sigma just going to be so much more effective here on Dorado as the Mammoths are now underneath the first archway, which is like the first half checkpoint of the game.
Absolutely, as we see Blank opening it up with a kill onto Soup, who is sitting on the Cassidy. Again, deciding that the Widowmaker should be left for a little bit later. And then, of course, the supports on the side of the Mammoths picking up kills of their own before finally getting taken down. And Alicath, unfortunately, going to take themselves out with the Soldier 76 rockets.
Moist able to find two, taking out Fulcrum and Blank, as the Mammoths are able to secure the first checkpoint. And man, they're looking so strong right now. Almost able to put another 2 minutes up on the clock for themselves. That's going to be 5 minutes now after the capture.
They didn't slow down at all. They just walked through the bridge, kept walking forward, picked up some kills along the way, and here they are past checkpoint 1. And again, they don't even need to complete checkpoint 2. They just need to get a little bit further than the Landslides did, and we're going to see another pause coming out here.
Interestingly enough, I think the player is standing in the exact same position as the last pause.
You're right. I think so as well.
So I don't know if it's causing some game issues, someone standing there
that
or
one
whatnot,
particular
that
spot.
one particular spot. But yeah, Dorado so far in favor of the Mammoths, I have to say. I mean, the Landslides so far really strong in the competition, especially in the previous weeks going 3-0, but here tonight, after the loss on Midtown, they're definitely feeling the shift in momentum, and I don't know if they're going to be able to stop the Mammoth Stampede.
I really don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, in tournament play, in group play, the Landslides didn't really get that much of an opportunity to go to Game 3. So in reality, they just aren't as practiced on escort maps as something like the Mammoths, who have been going to Game 3, have been playing on these escort maps. It's just an interesting thing to note. Maybe being too good in the beginning of the season might be a little bit of a detriment to you.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw that in the Summer Invitational. Every team that was really stand out at the start either became the competitors for the underdog story, and the Vipers were able to just come back and beat out the Lynxes, who were the previous grand champions, who had beat out the Barracudas, who were looking so strong and undefeated throughout the group stage. So it's time and time again here in the Rumbles that this happens. So these teams, I think, might just get a little bit too confident and allow the slip-ups to start to happen and not notice them as much.
I mean, it is very possible. A lot of these players, they're just so young. They haven't had this ability to play in a tournament of this scale before. So there are things like overconfidence, nerves that do play a factor. The mental of a lot of these esports is just so important. And Soup going back to the Widowmaker, already finding 2 kills.
That is going to hurt the mental right there.
Yes. I mean, especially Soup is in the zone. Avian also just back on the Tracer, doing so much damage, so much poke. The Mammoths are, I mean, it's their game to lose at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to if Soup continues with these shots. Again, just so clean with them. Finding 1 or 2 before the fight even starts every single time. And now, if this Ana gets picked, it's going to be very, very bad for the Landslides, who were...
It doesn't matter. They didn't touch. They couldn't get there.
Touch. This is so unfortunate for the Landslides. But the Mammoths, in the end, the underdogs, coming out on top. I mean, just an insane performance. I was not expecting the game to end quite like that, but just abrupt. Nobody touched, just so abrupt. I was expecting it to go to overtime, be as intense as these last few maps are, but the Landslides just not going to have the same gas in the tank as they were at the start of the night.
And Avian, the Tracer player, is indeed going to get play of the game. I believe this was a triple kill. Going to see a stick onto Brigitte. Going to find the Ana, and then can we find another? No. That's all you need, though.
Only 2.
That's the impact.
You don't get to see.
Yeah, the 2 that you got to see. I'm sure there were more that happened prior or afterwards. But again, I mean, once you take out the support line, what can the team do? They can only stay alive for so long after that.
I mean, there at the very end, we just saw Soup get the frag onto the Zenyatta Toxic Kill, and that just completely shut down the push from the landslides. They were not really able to move onto the point anymore. They had no Transcendence. I don't know for a fact if Transcendence was even available, but if it was gone out of the fight, so it wasn't available anyway.
Out of the way.
So, like, the healing gone bad, the ultimate gone worse.
Yeah.
And then getting the second frag, obviously, is just going to be another nail in the coffin, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think an unintentional buff to Widowmaker is the fact that picks are more impactful now in Overwatch 2 just because you are already just down a player. So instead of having a 6-man, you have a 5-man. So you just immediately have less players to work with, and Widowmaker just making the move. Soup again doing so much.
Doing so much super work that they are the Esports Tower Player of the Week. Presented by Esports Tower, you can score pro advice at esportstower.com and improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Here's some plays from the Player of the Week. Soup, who has just been so dominant, I don't know how they even picked any of these. They could have just, again, played the entire thing from Soup's perspective, over again.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been it. But oh my gosh, these clips are so fantastic to watch. A good Widow is just chef's kiss. It's so enjoyable, and Soup really putting in the work tonight so much.
I mean, doing an absolutely fantastic job. Soup, definitely the Player of the Week, if not the player of this Rumble, for just the sheer accuracy that they had tonight between both the end of the group stage and the finals. They're just finding so many headshots. And we saw other teams try to mimic it. Music Woman putting up a similar performance, even winning out the 1v1s at a time, but unfortunately not able to stay as consistent as Soup. Soup just doing such a good job.
I mean, Soup has really just made the point that you could only beat out Soup for so long before Soup just starts to come online and go crazy on this Widow.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolutely insane finals and final match of the group stage.
Oh
just
my gosh, it was incredible.
Really competitive all around. Congratulations to the Mammoths and to all the teams in the competition. What an excellent performance it has been so far. But anyway, I think that is going to do it for the show and this Overwatch Rumble. We'll be back again, I believe, next Tuesday with a new Rumble.
Ooh.
And if not, then we'll be back with something else. Make sure to check us out next week back on twitch.tv, Shenandoah Esports, twitch.tv, Esports Tower, ESTV. Check us out wherever you're watching once again next week. But I think that's going to do it for us here. What an insane week it has been. Enjoy the top 5 plays as they are counted down at the end of the stream. But that is going to do it for our show tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We're signing off. Successful take. Last time able to take out Soup was WoW Classic.
Yeah, that might be what the Lightnings need, but oh my gosh, Moist with the
On the point with the supports, just keeping them alive. And man, the entire focus around Soup as the defensive player here from the Mammoths is so obvious, but oh my gosh, it is working.
I mean, yeah, you know, if your Widowmaker is popping off like they are, what can you do but just sit there and make sure that they have a good angle, plenty of open areas, and plenty of heals to just keep them alive? And oh